In this video, we'll discuss verbs in a graphical way. And we should know it is impossible, almost impossible to construct a sentence without verb. Now different variations are there. We have to go through those things seriously and hope you will understand the chapter properly. So it is going to be an audiovisual chapter. Whatever is going to be displayed, as I told you before, you have to write down those items. I'll try to make it as easy as possible. So kindly go through this one and you must write down. You must write down what is going to be conveyed. So in this speech, I will not explain further about all these things. Instead, let us go through these things in written form. So go through this video, and if you find difficulty, to ask me in any means by a comment section or by sending me message via WhatsApp. So here we go. Here starts the video. So first we'll start with finite and non-finite verb. First we have to understand what is verb. We know that verb is a term that represents a work or a work being done. Just like Annie is watching a movie, she is tired, the match will start in few minutes. Now all these underlined as well as the red color letters represent, or the words represent, verbs. Now if you look at all these things, first is Annie is watching a movie. What is displayed here is watching, that is present continuous, where she is, that is a be verb. She is tired, so her condition is displayed here. So here is, that is auxiliary, and will start, that is future tense, and start is the verb here. So you can see here the word is and watching together are describing an action. Here is describing a state of being. So here we come to know about Annie's physical state or condition. We have basically two types of verbs. Further we have many classification, but basically we'll start with two types. Now we have finite and non-finite, transitive and intransitive, and further auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries. So here we'll talk about finite verb and non-finite first. In the remaining part of the video, we'll discuss the other types. Now, if we look at the finite, the term finite. So if we take the definition, the formal definition that says the verb that changes its form according to the tense, person, and number of the sentence is called finite verb. So a finite verb depends on what? So a finite verb depends on, we have to see whether the verb that can get changed in past or in present form, and the other forms just like ing, ed, infinitive, participle, these forms are non-finite. So we have to look at tense, person of the subject, number of the subject. First one, you see, Amy talks so fast and is making a cup of coffee, and I like coffee. I went on to a tour last month. So you can see the sentence contains more than one finite verb, but it must contain at least one finite verb. If I say that walking on the street I saw a tiger, walking on, this ing verb does not take any helping verb. This ing verb, walking on the street, does not take any helping verb, so it is going to be non-finite. I saw a tiger, I saw, that means I did see, that takes one helping verb, so it is going to be finite. Same is the case if I see that swimming is good for health. Here swimming is not a normal verb. We can say swimming, it sounds like one action, a noun, so it is gerund. So it is also not finite, instead it is non-finite. And infinities are those where we have TO2. First, you remember we cannot make a complete sentence without a finite verb. We cannot make a sentence without a finite verb. If you take all these, Amy talks, that means Amy does talk. And is making. I like, that means I do like. So all these verbs, what they have one auxiliary attached to it. But in case of non-finite, we do not have any auxiliary attached to it. This is the easiest way to understand. We have formal definition that would help you, but to make easier access to this one, we should know that a finite verb is always attached to a helping verb, so that it can change with the course of time or person. But one non-finite verb does not change. Walking on the street, I saw. Walking on the street, they saw. So walking remains same because there is no is or are. So this is the basic differences that we have between non-finite and finite. Now, if we look at the sentence, David plays the piano. In that case, we see it is present tense and the verb is finite. David plays means David does play. What is non-finite verb? The verb that does not change according to the tense, person or number of the sentence is called non-finite verb. So we have to look, a non-finite verb can work as a verb, noun, an adjective and adverb. Just like they have run, first example that I have provided you, just like placed on the table the statue of laughing Buddha. Placed on table. I am not saying that is placed, are placed, was placed, has placed or have played. Just writing placed. So here the verb is standing alone. It is no more a finite verb. It is non-finite because it will remain same. In past, present and future, there will be no change since there is no helping verb attached to it. So, non-finite verb does not change with the course of time or person. He hates smoking. So, here smoking sounds like verb, but it is not finite. He likes to drink. After to, we know that verb will never get changed. My spectacles are broken. Are broken. Now look, hates is finite verb and smoking is non-finite. Like is a finite verb and to drink is non-finite. Instead we can say infinite. Are is a finite verb and broken is non-finite verb. And broken works as an adjective. This is showing the condition of the spectacle. So here we can easily understand these sounds like verb, smoking, drink or broken. Obviously they sound like verb, but they are non-finite since they don't change. I like to drink coffee. I liked. In that case also it will be same. To drink coffee. In past tense also it will remain same. He hates smoking. He hated smoking. It will remain same. Further if you look, spectacles are broken. It will say was broken, were broken. So broken is the condition of the spectacles. So while dealing with this one, we have to be very careful. Just last example that I provided, that was placed on the table the statue of Buddha. So here placed is non-finite verb. Swimming is a healthy exercise. Swimming is non-finite. Playing cricket is prohibited here. Playing cricket is prohibited here. Is prohibited, we know that is finite. Playing, that is non-finite because it will be same in past, present or future. So if we come back to our basic definition, that is proved here that with the course of time or tense it remains same. There is no change in non-finite. And if we look at finite, it changes with the course of time, person. Further example, it is written my spectacles are broken. If I use their, it will also remain same. So this is the basic things about finite and non-finite. Do write down these things for further assistance. One exercise is provided here. You can take screenshot of this one. Later you zoom it and do find out the finite and non-finite. Now next is regular and irregular verb. This is very easy to understand and we are very much attached to it for a long time. Basically English we have three types of verbs. First one is base verb, then we have the past format, then we have the past participle. Then V1, V2, V3. Sometime we make V4, V5. When we change verb to past and participle, what we do basically, we add ed or d with the regular verb. Just like study, studied, studied. Play, played, played. Ask, asked, asked. So we are simply adding d or ed. Advise, advised, advised. So here with verb we are adding the simple d or ed. Just like board, boarded, boarded. Carp, carped, carped. Check, checked and checked. So this is the basics one. Clean, cleaned and clean. So these verbs are regular verbs. Only by adding d and ed if we can change, these are regular. And which are irregular? There is no specific rule of changing. Take, took. We cannot write taked. Instead we have to write took. So we don't have a specific rule that by adding ed or d you can change. Just like go, went, gone. Give, gave, given. Okay, do, did, done. Find, found, found. Speak, spoke, spoken. So we don't have a specific format to change this. Fly, flew, flown. Further we have draw, drew, drawn. Begin, began, begun. Teach, taught, taught. Hit, hit, hit. There is no change for these things. Now we have auxiliaries. What are auxiliaries? Auxiliary verb or helping verb is used to do what? To help the principal verb to complete the meaning of a sentence, to show the tense or the action it is. I have done my work, they are playing well. Are and have. The auxiliary verb in English are be, we have form, we have do form, we have, and modal auxiliaries. So in these videos we have both the auxiliary and the modal auxiliary. Be form. Am, is, are, was, were. I am writing. She is buying vegetables. Children are playing cricket. The boy was taking test. Girls were arranging books. So all these underlined and red words you can understand, these are the be forms or be auxiliaries. You can make more sentences with your choice. Was and were past form, where am is our present form. Sometime we think about shall be and will be, it is better to discard those. Now we have the have form, the easiest one. Has, have and had. Renu has finished her work. They have caught the ball. I had completed my task. So these are the have form. Have in present and had in past. You can make further sentences with these things. You can use have been or has been also. There is no problem, as well as had been. So normally has and have and basically these things used to in past perfect tense or present perfect tense. Do forms. My students do their work regularly. She does not eat junk food. He did not attend the classes. So do, does and did. Did is the past form of the do and does is the third person singular. Keep it in mind, children. Do verb is not visible in present form but visible in past form and negative form. Modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries is I'm going to provide here, but another section is there. Will, shall, can, may, ought to, need to, must. Will past form would, shall, should, can, could, may, might. Few examples I have provided here, but these are not everything. It is going to be a long learning for modals, because modals are very, very important. These are not like auxiliaries. One activity is provided here, so try to answer it out. Modals: can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, and ought to. Now keeping in mind, children, normal auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries do have changes. Normal auxiliaries do not change the meaning of the sentences. They change the tense, timing of the sentences, as well as the number. But modal auxiliaries, they change the meaning of the sentences too. So we have to be very careful while using modal auxiliaries. Each modal represents a specific meaning, and they have their past form too. Can, could, may, might, shall, should, will remain would, and must. There will be no change for this one. And ought to is the substitution for should. You try to make each sentence a sentence with each of these, and you can ask me for correction also. So once more I would like to tell you that modals are not like normal auxiliaries. Normal auxiliaries do not change the meaning of the sentence, while modals change the meaning of the sentence entirely. It will be a totally different kind of sentence if you add modal to it. First, she can swim. There is no s in the third person. That means that is the third person singular of the present simple. That means she can swim. Normally we use she swims, but when you use can, you cannot use it to swim. That means after using a modal, you have to keep your verb as it is. You cannot change it into V2, V3, V4 or V5. She must attend the meeting with us. May I ask you a question? Shall I carry a bag for you? There is no do or does in the question. When you use may, we cannot use do or does. Shall I carry your bag? Now, modal itself is a long chapter with vast importance. You should not steal from the other people. There is no do not or does not in the negative. Neither did not. When I write should not, must not, would not, cannot, further there is no need to use do not or does not. That means after modal you cannot use an auxiliary, normal auxiliary. This is it itself is a long chapter, so there will be another video only with modals. They are followed by an infinitive without to. It might rain. Could you drive? After infinitive, that means I told him to come. After to, there is no change of that verb. Similarly, after modals, there will be no change in that verb. The verb remains same. It will be V1 or the base form. You are really a good footballer. You ought to be in our team. So, next, they don't really have past forms or infinitives or ing forms. Other verbs are used instead. He had to do. I would love to be able to write Arabic calligraphy. I hate having to get up early in Saturday. To get up, to write. So after those, what they don't really have past forms or infinitives. So after using modals, we must not use any past forms. So go through this one. Another video will be related to this very topic, modals, for better understanding and clear knowledge. Now transitive and intransitive. It sounds little hard but very easy to understand. What are transitive and intransitive verbs? So first we are going to have that basic definition. A transitive verb is a verb that can take a direct object. The action of a transitive verb is done to someone or something. An intransitive verb is a verb that does not take a direct object. It is not done to someone or something. It may involve the subject. So there will be subject in case of transitive. There will be no subject in case of intransitive. Simple transitive verb example. Let eats pies. Let love means pies. Lee brought dozens of cakes. So, in all these things, what we can see in this transitive, it pies object is available. And the next one, he fainted. He fainted object is not available. A vulture soared effortlessly overhead. A vulture soared effortlessly overhead. So there is no object to. So we must need objects. What are objects? Objects may be a noun, or pronoun. The sharks are congregated near the raft. The sharks are congregating near the raft. The whales are congregating the seals. Now go through these writings along with the speech. It will be little slower than normal. Now you have to find out the verb and you have to ask what or whom. If you ask what or whom, in that case you will get the objects. No amount of time can erase the memory of a good cat. And no amount of masking tape can ever totally remove his fur from your couch. So if you ask what and whom, so you will get the answer erase and remove. So what to erase, or what or whom to remove? So if you ask using what or whom, you will get the object, and if you get object, that means it is transitive verb. Next, so you should try other things in your exercises in your books, so you can get the answer. Now you can get 8 cats to pull a sledge through snow. Now look, find the verb. You can get. Now what? 8 cats. That means that is the object. 8 cats are the object. So here you also got the verb, got the object. That means it is transitive. List of common intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs sometimes sounds like phrases also. So be careful while going through these things.